Coming up on Ultra Eye, escape to the seductive port city of Buenos Aires, which has gone from economic bust to glamorous boom and claimed its place among the world's most stylish cities. Meet the avant-garde artists whose unconventional materials are turning heads in the international art scene. Visit a hotel that's revitalized the city by reinventing Argentine history as modern fantasy. And go behind the gilded doors of one of Buenos Aires' most exclusive restaurants. This is Ultra Eye Buenos Aires. Buenos Aires, the Paris of the South. The dynamic capital of Argentina is a city of stunning architecture, rich food, and vibrant nightlife. But when the land of tango was crippled by a financial crisis in 2001, it seemed that the dance had stopped. The porteños, as Buenos Aires natives are known, who had long been influenced by Europe, could no longer afford travel and imports. So they turned to their own culture for inspiration. Necessity truly became the mother of invention, and a few short years later, the city found a new rhythm, turning economic adversity into a hotbed of creativity. The result, a dynamic new city with a style all its own. This magical city boasts bustling streets and majestic avenues, but it's BA's intimate neighborhoods that show off a city of eclectic style. One of the city's trendiest new locales, the revitalized port area of Puerto Madero, illustrates this new, sizzling South American style. Once a strip of abandoned docks along the Rio de la Plata, Puerto Madero is now a hip destination for the savvy fashionista. Nowhere is this transformation more evident than in the lavish hotel created by Argentine visionary and former fashion designer Alan Fina. Since opening its doors in 2005, the Fina Hotel and Universe has been named Best New Hotel by Wallpaper magazine and ranked among the top new hotels in the world by Condé Nast Traveler. It's in this Buenos Aires wonderland where fantasy meets luxury, and a declining dockland has been given a new lease on life. Buenos Aires style.
The Fina Hotel and Universe is a mix of different sensations. That's why we were trying to develop a place where everybody can come and find the best of our city, the best of our country in one place. So for us, it's interesting that all the people from the world come to our country and doesn't stay only in a hotel, but they can take our culture with them.
With its bohemian bourgeois vibe, the Fina has become a haven for Hollywood's elite and a respite for rock royalty.
We have a lot of celebrities staying at the hotel. We have lots of concerts, so I think that all the big bands come to Buenos Aires, and I think that 90% of them stay in our hotel.
Fina's creative vision began with the building itself, a turn-of-the-century silo that was the center of Argentina's once booming grain business and is now feeding the jet set's hunger for a new take on modern design.
This building represents the wealth, and this building is like a monument of the old Argentina. So it's not by chance that we decided to put our hotel and our vision inside this building. It's not any building.
The exterior was just the beginning. Fina's approach to its interior space was based on Buenos Aires' rich traditions and blended with the best of modern design.
I think that one of the most important things that we create is make our client feel that they are not in their country and feel that they are in a real different country, in a real Buenos Aires. And we want to offer our reality, we want to offer our root.
Fina enlisted famed French designer Philippe Starck to realize his vision. And together, they created an imaginative fantasy land.
Philippe Starck, what I love him most is the way of him thinking. He's intelligence. In this project, he became my eyes. We developed something that the people of the world can come to Argentina and recognize Argentina and find the best of Argentina. And I think that we make a great combination. So between Philippe and I, we want to rediscover the Belle Époque of Buenos Aires.
That Belle Époque style, characterized by lavish ornamentation based on turn-of-the-century French design, is evident throughout the hotel. But the dream team of Fina and Stark gave it a whimsical quality that's unique to Argentina's history.
I think that Argentina is very well known from its horses, races, and a little bit we try to put our horses in our races, and we put it in a magic way that is a unicorn. The library lounge represents the old estancias of Buenos Aires. The estancias means the old campus, where the people used to come from France or from England, and they developed like big houses in the countryside. So that represents the old palace that the rich European used to come and develop.
From the executive rooms to the opulent suites, the contrast of striking colours represents the strife of Argentina's past and the triumph of its present and future.
Everything that we did here is based in the reality of the moment. In that moment when we were developing this project, Argentina was just leaving behind the big devaluation and big economic crisis. So that color represents that blood to make it happening and also what was going on at the moment. And the gold that have to do with the rooms have to do with the glory of success.
And with more than 60 million cows grazing throughout the country, Fina doesn't hide his preference for one material in particular.
The leather have to do with things that is related to our roots. We have a great leather and we want to use it.
Modern luxury abounds in every corner of the hotel, while the pulse of old Buenos Aires beats in the sensual surroundings of Fina's live theatre, El Cabaret.
Buenos Aires, in the beginning of the century, was like what they call the Paris of Latin America. And we have there great shows from all around the world that used to come to Buenos Aires. So we cannot develop a hotel that represents Buenos Aires without developing like what they were calling the old cabaret.
Despite having the right mix of Argentine atmosphere and style, Fina initially had problems attracting investors. Finding money in a country reeling from financial collapse was anything but easy.
During the crisis and after the crisis, it was almost impossible to get financing. I will tell you that was not a possibility. All the big genius of the real estate and the financial genius left the country because they thought that Argentina itself was going to go to bankruptcy. We decided to stay. I don't know if I can develop the project without the crisis, because during the crisis we developed the project with half of the cost, we developed it with much more opportunity. The country was stopped.
Fina's vision for Puerto Madero extends beyond the doors of the Fina Hotel. With the help of legendary British architect Norman Foster, the Fina universe will extend to encompass high-end retail space, luxury residences, and another posh hotel.
We're a survivor of the crisis. I think that we represent a lot of young people that want to feel part of the world today, and we represent the new Argentina.
While Fina offers a glimpse into Argentine decadence, two other porteños are giving Puerto Madero locals a bird's-eye view of the city from the perch of its most notable structure. El Faro, a 46-story luxury residential high-rise, is the tallest building in Argentina. This impressive design was the brainchild of architectural masterminds Beraldo de Hovne and Sylvia Hirsch, who also happen to be Argentine natives. Their cutting-edge designs can be found in hotspots like Miami and Panama, but they're rooted in defining a new kind of architecture in Puerto Madero.
Buenos Aires architecture is an architecture that you can define it as with a great influence from European architecture. It was a city of immigration, so we had a great influence from the people that came from those countries. We have introduced new technologies, new ways of buildings that weren't permitted in the other years. We have had an influence on the modern architecture, and we defend the modern architecture.
Reaching new heights in modern architecture paved the way for the birth of Duhovny and Hirsch's luxury landmark.
We thought that it was very interesting to build a tower in this side, east part of Puerto Madero, and we thought that the tower here should be like an icon for the city.
The Faro, it means a lighthouse. If you come from the river, the building is a lighthouse.
This lighthouse has become a beacon of elegance in Puerto Madero, and its exterior grandeur is topped only by its posh interiors.
First-class apartments, the best you could find in Buenos Aires. Big rooms, high ceilings, 2 swimming pools. It was one of the first buildings in Buenos Aires to have all these amenities. The best part of the apartments have a great view, a great orientation as to the sun.
El Faro is a ray of light along the waters of the Rio de la Plata, but one that had Duhovny and Hirsch feeling the heat.
I think that El Faro, it was a kind of challenge for us.
It was the first building that is so high in Buenos Aires. It has 160 meters high, 46 floors.
Because of its unprecedented height, the city enforced strict fire building codes, so the architects chose to cross that bridge when they came to it.
The bridges are a way of connecting the 2 towers. Each 13 floors, you can go from one tower to the other one. If there's a problem in one, you can pass to the other one. The upper bridge was just thought as a lounge, so as the people that live in the first floor can go there and sit and have a nice view of the river and the city.
With the concept intact, the design duo faced an even bigger challenge.
Materials were scarce. You had to develop an imagination to build with what you had, with concrete, with bricks, with less technology.
But turning adversity into advantage is a specialty of this power couple and has been the building blocks of their many years together, both professionally and personally.
We never fight. We discuss sometimes, but we never fight.
We have been working together for more than 40 years. We have been married for more than 45 years.
Well, exactly 45. Yeah.
Exactly.
Not ones to rest on their laurels, Duhovny and Hirsch have even more groundbreaking projects underway. But it's El Faro that laid the foundation for the architectural revolution in Buenos Aires.
I think that El Faro opened a new language of architecture, for architecture in the city.
The future of the architecture of Buenos Aires, I think it has a new face. It isn't anymore linked to Europe. It's more linked to the creativity of the architects of Buenos Aires.
Buenos Aires, this city south of the equator, is turning up the heat on the international style scene. The lush couture of Fabian Zita and the black and white mastery of Pablo Ramirez are helping place Argentina's capital firmly on the fashion map. And so is celebrated designer and Buenos Aires native Martin Cherba. This king of textiles creates bohemian designs that are sold around the globe. His fashions have rocked the runways from Tokyo to New York and are faves of top supermodels and sexy singers. His latest endeavor is Tremondo. Since opening its doors, the city's fashion forward have flocked to Cherba's Recoleta store, where this shooting star is making textiles a fashion statement.
I cannot declare myself as a fashion designer because I want to be beyond fashion design. Textile for me is one of the best materials to express my aesthetic or my poetry. When you create textiles, you can do a lot of things. I was very into create this philosophy that allowed me to be an artist, a designer, entrepreneur.
And that philosophy kept him strong when the 2001 economic crisis hit.
Argentina is a very young country. We have 200 years, which is nothing in life of a country. So crisis, it's a way of wake up, but it's also a way of grow. You have to change, you have to.
That change led to the birth of Tramando, Cerba's own textile and fashion venture. Unlike most of the fashion industry, Martin proudly produces his work locally, which allows him to be hands-on at every stage of the design.
For my textile, I had to create a laboratory. I have to invent machines. I have to teach people. We have to break all the formulas to allow us to reinvent process. This is the printing department, and we have been adapting machines from the textile industry. What we usually do is create beautiful prints, and we print it in paper. That paper will transfer to the textiles. We have an off-white skirt that will be a printed skirt in 30 seconds. And we have the skirt. The good thing of this skirt is that there's no two skirts the same. This is one of the most difficult processes we do here. It's about beading silk with wool and plastic. What we have here is a transparent silk, and what we have here, it's a virgin wool beaded with black plastic beads. Using that machine, we fused this into this, so you can see here the wool. Then we will do other process like washing the textiles with a special treatment. It becomes like this particular surface.
Cerba's cool creations also extend into home decor. Everything from vases to pillows to books.
I want to work with the things I like. I like light, I like lamps, I like plants. We have a textile laboratory. We can create new textiles, or we can take old textiles and recreate them. Could be a lamp, it could be a plant, it could be furnitures, curtains, shapes, colors, textures, prints, images. If we want to decide where we can apply our ideas, textile ideas, and try to see how many textiles we can create for you, we have lots of possibilities, lots.
Another artist who's exploring the endless possibilities of design is native Argentine Pedro Reisig. Along with business partner Matias Fernandez Mores, Reisig founded a design lab called Vaka Valiente, which has revolutionized the leather industry while helping to revitalize his city. Their innovative, whimsical designs are solely made with discarded leather scraps and have caught the attention of the world's most elite retailers. And the famed Museum of Modern Art in New York has struck an exclusive deal for these leather products, a first ever for an Argentine company. But like so many thriving businesses in Buenos Aires, Vaka Valiente wouldn't exist if the 2001 economic crisis hadn't happened.
There was a lot of turmoil in the street, and that affected me just like everyone else at a personal level. I think we all had to bond together to survive, and that created good conditions to pull together a design team.
And so Vaka Valiente was born. With a name that means brave cow, the company pays homage to the plentiful cows in Argentina who outnumber the people 2 to 1. Its mission was to stretch the limits of leather design while using materials that shrink costs.
We were very interested in exploring the structural possibilities of leather. That is, taking leather as a material for design, not for craft. We discovered a material which has been around actually for quite a while, which is called reconstituted leather, which is basically leather shavings taken from industry scraps and tannery leftovers. It opened up a whole new realm of possibilities to use the material for designing products that were unknown up to that point.
But funnily enough, this avant-garde approach was inspired by a very ancient tradition.
We were very interested in how the Japanese took a material, paper in this case, through origami. So we did kind of a parallel thing with leather, taking a flat piece of leather through different operations, manipulating the leather to create three-dimensional forms. Our first product line, called Amigos, is a series of little animals, your little pets that have functional purposes. Well, what we're looking at here are the basic die-cut pieces, two-dimensional. A good example is the piggy bank. From this one piece of leather, we end up with this product.
After folding, fastening, sewing, and gluing, the final products break the mold and test the tones of traditional leather goods.
We definitely want to get away from the leather colors. We want to speak of color and form in an integrated fashion.
Much of the lab's work is based on Argentine concepts, including a celebrated design that took flight 70 years ago.
We have found a wonderful piece of work, which is now, I think, a design icon worldwide, which is the butterfly chair, which was designed in 1938 in Argentina. And we have found incredible inspiration in the experience of sitting on that chair, where the person sits and is suspended by pure tension. That's where our interest is going in that scale of products. And that's probably what makes us happiest, just to know that every day there's more and more discoveries to be made. Because we're not really interested in new. We discover things that maybe have been invented 100 years ago, and we rediscover them. What's important for us, and I think for designers, is to understand that moment when they feel things make sense.
Buenos Aires, this eclectic city of old-world charm, has been reborn after facing a severe economic crisis in 2001. Barrios have blossomed into boutique-filled style centers, and there's no chicer place on the map than the hip hood known as Palermo. When the city's economy was washed away, artists began flooding Palermo for its cheap rents and unique spaces. Now, the neighborhood has a look all its own, with funky fashions, trendy restaurants, and a vibrant nightlife. Designers dig Palermo's pulse, and the hip fashionistas who flock to it. The chic Maria Chair Boutique opened its doors in Palermo in 2001, and for its namesake designer, this is the place to see and be seen.
For me, Palermo, it's a nice place to know, because you have good places to buy things and to eat. It's like very young and very colorful and very happy. I was born in this area. My brand was born in this area. It's like Soho in New York, the place to show the exclusive things, you know, to the exclusive people and to the trendy people. I am inspired by avant-garde people, and when I start in Palermo. What is interesting about the shop is constructed by metal and no concrete. And it's about outside, inside, how you see the plants and have the vibe of the outside, inside.
The sleek glass structure provides the perfect backdrop for Chair's playful yet powerful designs.
I think the Maria Chair woman is a woman who knows what she wants in terms of design. This woman can be classic, but at the same time is strong. My design is modern, but at the same time it's classic. It's to be comfortable. I work a lot with prints. I work a lot with stamps and to work with soft and pure materials.
The designer's current collection combines the whimsical with the wearable for the multifaceted fashionista.
In this collection, I put different ideas of different things that maybe they are not connected with fashion. And you can see patterns that come from animals and then from Escher, the illustrator. My philosophy is have fun and also try to do what I really like to wear.
Having fun while being fashionable is what Palermo is all about, making Maria Chair a perfect fit for this eclectic neighborhood.
Palermo is, for me, it's very close because I lived here for many years and I love it.
On El Salvador Street sits another highlight of Palermo's high design. Humahuaca is one of the city's luxe leather emporiums. Sandra Rudelier and her business partner, Ingrid Gutmann, moved into the area in 2002. Since then, the world has started to corral Humahuaca's graphic take on leather accessories, including top shops like New York's MoMA store and Harrods in London. But despite its international fame, these leather goods are branded with the mark of Palermo.
This neighborhood is the heart of design because most of the new designers decide to settle down in this area because of the unique appeal of the place. When we opened our store, Palermo was a very old part of the city. You have old bricks, you can find a lot of trees, and it's really nice to be outside walking. You find a lot of unique products that you cannot find in any other part of the city. And now you can find not only the new designers, but the big brands as well.
Like many businesses that bloomed along Palermo's tree-lined streets, Humahuaca's invention came out of necessity. At a time when jobs were scarce, these former architects were forced to build a new career to exercise their creativity.
We didn't have anything to do as an architect, and the only thing we have was our own creativity, and we decided to apply that to a new project. Well, leather in Argentina, it's so popular because we have thousands of cows. We decided to explore new concepts in leather. Most of our products have many architectural things going on in them. They are designed thinking of all the needs that every person may have by using them.
Whether it's butterfly-shaped backpacks, chic computer bags, or practical wallets, Humahuaca's designs merge style with unexpected functionality, a winning combination for fashion-forward Palermo shoppers.
Our customers usually look for something really different, something with novel materials, with Argentine materials as well, and to buy something different that you cannot find in another leather store.
As a hotbed of new ideas, it's no surprise that Palermo has become the Soho of Buenos Aires. But like any buzzing hood, a hip hotel is a must for the many visitors who beeline it to this city. After the crisis, Palermo native Patricia O'Shea and her husband, London music producer Tom Rixton, saw an opportunity to live and work in Palermo. So they opened Home, the area's first design hotel. Since 2005, Home is at the heart of Palermo's chic scene, attracting travelers from all around the globe. and the hotel has already earned Wallpaper magazine's coveted design award, confirming that there really is no place like home.
We decided to open home. It all came about really from when we got married. We started looking for hotels for our friends and families to stay in. I started to notice that there wasn't that much choice in Buenos Aires at the time. There was the 5-star hotels like the Alvea, the Four Seasons, which are wonderful, but it didn't suit our friends. We decided there was a niche in the market, and it all kind of evolved from there.
With investments from Tom's music industry friends, including Crowded House bassist Nick Seymour, the idea for their own hotel was up and running, and Patricia knew exactly where to make home's base.
I knew I wanted Palermo because, to me, that was the area that needed a hotel. First of all, it's my favorite part of Buenos Aires. It's the most hip, with all the fashion boutiques, the design places, the best sort of restaurants, and the more creative energy of the city is here.
Home's austere architecture gives way to an inviting interior that is bathed in the distinctive light of Argentina.
What was important to us is to get a mixture of modern architecture, incorporating indoor, outdoor spaces, but also retaining kind of a nice, cozy atmosphere. The thing about coming to Argentina is that light is amazing. You can incorporate the exterior light into interior spaces, and I think that was very important to us.
That was like a starting point. We just wanted people to see the sky from every area in the hotel.
The result? Interconnecting spaces that let the sun shine in. But it's Home's vintage variety of wallpapers, mixed with the 1950s Scandinavian furniture, mid-20th century Saarinen tulip chairs, and retro Arnio Pastille chairs that give this hotel its unique look.
In terms of interior design, we started the design process with a wallpaper. That was it. That was our kind of starting point.
The oldest is from France, 1926, which is in the Spa, up until the one here is English, 1967. But there's Italian, Belgian, even some German. The style of furniture came about from still playing with the indoor-outdoor space. I wanted everything to appear spacious, but at the same time trying to maintain a coziness.
A lot of the furniture that is in the hotel are originals that we found in salvage shops. And
no, the best one we found one in the mechanics. And our mechanic had the sofa in the lobby, and it was covered in oil and grease.
Oil and half burnt, and we just got it restored.
The reason for the Scandinavian style of it all is because it's light and airy, and which kind of comes into the ambiance of the hotel, I guess.
Home's intimate vibe also offers its low-key clientele high-end 5-star amenities. The heated infinity pool and private garden is an urban oasis in the center of this bustling city. The soothing Ayurvedic spa offers a range of treatments for the weary traveler, but it's the bar that always seems to revitalize the spirits. With limitless libations to choose from, the cool crowds have a variety of ways to soak up all that Home has to offer.
So it's like a small hotel, yet it has all these sort of 5-star kind of amenities.
And with Tom's music industry pals like Bono, The Edge, and indie rock band Franz Ferdinand popping in, this hotel has quickly become a home away from home for savvy hipsters worldwide.
The people that come to Home Hotel, funnily enough, it's not an age group, it's not a sort of profession. You can't categorize them like that. I think it's more like an outlook in life. They're quite life-loving, they like the good stuff, so they like to have a really good martini instead of just an average one.
The hotel has been a labor of love for this cool couple, and its successful design concept has kept Patricia and Tom from ending up in a broken home.
Everybody said we'd get divorced.
We'll get divorced after opening a hotel, but actually we are quite a good team because we have different strengths.
Those strengths included striking while the iron was hot in order to make their dream a reality.
Buenos Aires went from being the third most expensive city in the world to being the 158th, and property prices reflected that. So for us, it was the time to invest.
It just seemed like the right thing to do, and it also, with the amount of money we could raise, it would enable us to do something much bigger than something we could have done in Europe, for instance.
It just became a much more creative country, in my view, and that energy was what we wanted to kind of reflect in the hotel. I think home is the product of that.
It was born of that era.
It was born out of that.
With its incredible rebirth, Palermo, like Buenos Aires itself, has become an epicenter of style. And in the last 5 years, the city's art scene has exploded. From the famed Malba to the expressive street art, the city is brimming with creativity. 3 of Buenos Aires' most celebrated and controversial artists make up Monango. They are husband and wife team Manuel Mondoña and Juliana Lafitte, and their partner, Agustina Picasso. Their collage works made out of unconventional materials have been scooped up by museums like the MoMA in New York and London's Tate Modern, and they've been commissioned to make pieces for celebrities and royalty alike. Monango has made a name for itself by questioning the status quo and turning irony into an art form.
Our work for us must have an impact in society. If we don't get that, the work doesn't work for us.
And one thing that is very important for us is the humor. We need humor to say difficult
awful things.
Yes, awful things.
The humor or irony of Monango's work comes from the team's approach to its subject matter, which can be anything from the effects of the American dollar to unsolved crimes in their local area. But their unconventional art may have been most shaped by the economic collapse.
We want to make questions to society with these pieces. We did a raw meat series, pieces of the history of art, like Lucian Freud, Rembrandt. And we did it because these works of art made of raw meat don't have any function in everyday life. All the people were angry with us, and it was good for us.
The artists worked with a team of assistants, creating pieces with a clever choice of materials. Items like thread, plasticine, and various types of food are used to push the boundaries of form and creativity. It's clearly served up a recipe for the group's success.
We use a lot of food in our work because it's a strong material conceptually. We are working on a piece made of bread and is about a reign of bread. We wish that the reign of bread came to Argentina.
Whether it be creating a portrait of the Pope from communion wafers or using Play-Doh-like plasticine for a Little Red Riding Hood series, Monango's use of materials always begs the viewer to take a closer look, providing a new perspective with each vantage point.
One of the characteristics of our work is that close up you see an abstraction, and in far away you see a figurative work. We started with a picture, always. The picture is modified in the computer, and then we used it like a sketch.
We saw the details in the computer, a laptop, and we work in little pieces of abstract things. And then we work with mirrors in the ceiling too, to see our work, because we need perspective to show how it looks.
Suited up for a day at the office, Monango quickly gets down to business. Their intricate and complex process requires the use of toxic sprays and layers of delicate threadwork.
This bulldog painting is it's called Tammy Faye. It was a pet of our friend in LA. and she's died now. She's passed away, and we decided to do because she's a special dog for us.
Monango's collections are a new breed of craft that commands people to think, bringing creativity to a whole new level in a city that has turned adversity into art.
The 2001 crisis influenced a lot on our work and in the artwork market in Buenos Aires because people think that invest in art is better than invest in another things in Argentina. And then the market is growing up and we grow up with the market.
In Buenos Aires, a night on the town is an investment in pleasure. The best restaurants and bars keep locals reveling till the wee hours, tipsy on tango, wine, and the fresh flavors of local ingredients. Finding a good meal is easy in this city, but one place that truly pampers your palate is the exclusive hotspot, Kasa Cruz. Behind its massive bronze doors, Kasa Cruz caters to a swank clientele by providing lush surroundings and a delectable menu. Heralded by Condé Nast Traveler as one of the top restaurants in the world, it's become Buenos Aires' most coveted table. Co-owners Juan Santa Cruz and chef Germán Martitegui created the perfect mix of a high-end, low-key atmosphere, blended with a daring menu that fed the city's need for a restaurant to satisfy all the senses.
I thought that there wasn't a place in Buenos Aires for me to go on a recurring basis, a place that I want to go at least once a week that would fulfill all of my needs. A place where I would have a good time, with beautiful people, fantastic food, with good cutlery, good crystal, and it would be, chic and fun, and also a good gastronomic experience.
In Chef Germán's kitchen, creative cooking is taken to a whole new level. His inventive dishes are a literal melting pot of flavors.
We live in a big city with a lot of influences of the rest of the world. So I think that the food try to contemplate everything. I like to create in the kitchen. I like to mix different ingredients and different textures. It was very hard to give a name to my food, and we call it urban Argentinian food.
Germán's global spin on Argentinian fare offers up an impressive menu, but a decline in foreign delicacies during BA's turbulent times forced him to look to his country's own resources for inspiration.
I used to buy everything imported. I used to bring my truffles from Italy, my olive oil from Italy, my wines from Spain or Italy. That changed suddenly. From one day to the other, I had to look at local production and local products. I try not to use a lot of meat because that's like a cliche. They come here to eat meat, and I don't like to do that. This is chimichurri. This is a very common spice for our barbecue, our asado, and it's normally used with red meat. I use it in this plate with a red tuna. Some of the Argentinians even don't know the red tuna, so when they get chimichurri, they assume that it's going to be red meat, and it's very surprising. I think that food has an emotional ingredient when you eat it, and if you find some surprise, you also involves your mind in the process. My favorite is we have a pineapple, which is roasted with some black peppers and served with a bomb of brie cheese and some gingerbread. In Argentina, we don't eat cheese as a dessert like the French, so I try to introduce cheese on the desserts. It's not only taste, it's like you have to use some thinking in the process. I like it. Our clients, they want to be surprised, maybe with a different combination of food and different ingredients.
While the city may be cosmopolitan, the drink of choice is most definitely wine. And Kasa Cruz's eclectic selections have wine connoisseurs drunk with anticipation.
I wanted to have the best wines available in Argentina to my clientele. So you needed a special sommelier that would understand your needs and probably show you something new, surprise you, take you to the next level.
But Kasa Cruz's recipe for success would only be half-baked without a smoking design and a cool vibe.
I wanted to build something that would have the feeling of a 1930s Paris men's club. A place where my clients would feel very comfortable and would feel that it was a better place than their own homes. I love wood. I love wood on the walls. There's some special attraction between people and mahogany paneling somehow in these type of situations.
The space itself conjures up the Art Deco style of a bygone era, with sparse, warm lights creating a truly sensual vibe that keep an A-list clientele coming back for more.
Any rock star and a celebrity that happens to be in Buenos Aires will come by.
We have a mix of VIP people, famous people, sport players, artists, and maybe people that come to the restaurant for the first time.
I wanted that place that would have a buzz and there would be some sort of a sensuous situation floating on the air.
In the last 5 years, I think that there was like a culinary revolution in Buenos Aires. We are open many new restaurants here in Buenos Aires, and that's very nice. I see the future of the Argentinian cuisine very positive.
Whether it's eating, drinking, or being merry, the nightlife scene in Buenos Aires never stops, and one of the city's best-kept secrets has all the comforts of home. An alternative to a night out is a night in at one of the city's many puertas cerradas, tiny restaurants in private homes. After the 2001 crisis, these eateries became a smart, low-cost investment for some of the city's chefs. Dan Perlman and partner Henry Tapia serve it up every weekend at their home restaurant, Casa Salt Shaker. A former New Yorker, Perlman turned his 25 years of culinary experience into a home business, joining the ranks of the city's several dozen hidden restaurants.
Restaurants de puertas cerradas are restaurants with locked doors, literally. They vary, but the basic phenomenon is that it's a restaurant where you can only go if you know where it is, often only by invitation or reference from somebody else, and you can only get there with a reservation. I think puertas cerradas have become popular for a couple of reasons. It's a place to go for people who don't know each other, whether they're tourists or expats or Argentines or whomever, get a chance to interact with new people, meet new people, have conversations. The other part of it is for people who are really into food and wine, it's a chance to try something different. The types of foods being served at the puertas cerradas is often food that isn't available, a cuisine that isn't available at restaurants that exist here right now.
Every weekend, Argentine chef Diego Felix and his girlfriend Sandra Ritten turn their home into Casa Felix. These vegetarians offer their guests Argentine fare with a twist.
So the people that come to eat to our place is more people that are searching or looking for new things, a different experience. Cumin, it's a house, it's not a restaurant, it's more chill. That's what I want people to feel. It's like hanging out with friends, and that's why they feel also. The traditional Argentinian food is just almost meat and goes always around meat. So what I'm trying to do is to open the papillas, or the mouth for the people, for different vegetables and fish and grains. One that we're going to start with is going to be a fresh corn dumpling with melissa. Melissa is also an herb from Argentina. The idea is to open the show, or to open the night with something fresh.
Whatever they may be dishing out for the night, both Diego and Dan craft menus that illustrate their own unique vibes and tastes.
What we do here is like a 5-course menu, so it has to be interconnected, or at least have the same soul or the same spirit.
Coming up with my menus is often, it's a totally whimsical process, in truth. And I just look at, for the given date that we're planning out 4 or 5 weeks ahead of time, you know, what happened on that day in history 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 500 years ago. Tonight we are celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the presentation of the Cullinan diamond, the world's most famous diamond for many years. This dish, in fitting with our theme, is chicken breast that's been rolled around a filling of Brazil nuts and green onions. It's marinated in a sauce made from oil and soy sauce and honey and salt and pepper and ginger, called Black Diamond Marinade. We take a truly international approach, and every week is a different cuisine, and we're not afraid to experiment, whether it's Tibetan food or Turkish food or the food of Pakistan or Louisiana.
We are always doing something new. You don't have to be stuck to something.
Opening your home to strangers means more than just cleaning house. Those little extra touches go a long way.
Preparing the house for guests is like preparing a house for a dinner party. And in essence, for us, that's what it is. Yeah, it means dusting, it means vacuuming, you know, arranging flowers and setting the table.
What I do, I have this sort of incense. I have always the idea like when you get into the house, it has to be something different. So I put this in the alley that I have. So when they open the house, they will always say, it smells great.
For these underground chefs, running a puerta cerrada offers them real freedom to experiment, both in the kitchen and in life.
The best thing for me as a chef is that I get to do what I want. I really get to just decide, here's the menu for the night, and that's the menu, and if I want to change it tomorrow night, nobody gets to say no.
This was a really good move for me because I can live my life as I want. Okay, I don't have the technology, I have just the idea, the soul, and the things that people I want to open the palate to taste at least a different Argentina, a different South America.
Buenos Aires, a city that's risen like a phoenix from the ashes to become an international style capital. Its cutting-edge creativity and innovative take on design are attracting trendsetters from around the world. And with each passing day, Buenos Aires continues to soar to new heights. Coming up on Ultra Eye, venture to the edge of the Arctic Circle, where Reykjavik is shining a northern light on the style map. Meet a globe-trotting fashion designer whose stunning silhouettes are reshaping Reykjavik's fashion terrain. See how an Icelandic furniture designer is rocking the contemporary design scene. Lounge in a lagoon that's keeping locals and jet-setters forever young. And experience the ultimate in Icelandic culinary creativity. This is Ultra Eye Reykjavik.